Well, this is going swimmingly. I can't find the session. This is a great start. Unless they had the time wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay. Good old iRacing. You can't use tournaments in the new UI apparently that they are forcing you to use. Or apparently I'm blind, but we are booting up in here, and we'll get the show on the road here. This game is Loading Screen Simulator 2021. It's a pretty cool game. It features a variety of randomized loading screens. We're going to be doing some iRacing. We're loading up right now to get into the game for the practice session for the Weekend Warriors Formula V race taking place at Laguna, Seca. Just had some small little issues that needed ironing out for whatever reason. I've been doing some stuff with OBS and all that, trying to get everything working. So let me go ahead and try some things here. Come on, come on. Please work. There we go. Alright, well, I also want to try something else. Yeah! So hopefully you guys should see everything, the schedule that we got planned on for today. The race is starting at, what is it, 2:50? I think the green flag is actually going to be at 3 o'clock, but... So we got some practice here. Go ahead and go with session best. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Probably explained this multiple times here, but this is a big grid league. There should be a 60-car race, is what we're getting into, in a car that puts on slipstream pack racing, even on a track like Laguna Seca here, which is just going to be absolutely nuts. But because of that, they have too many drivers registered, which means that we need to qualify into the race. Put my 4-speed back up here. Works for me. Have to win. I would like to win, although I don't think that's likely because some of the guys that are in this league are not going to do that. In fairness, I should have expected that to happen, you know. Don't stabilize the rear end at all, you know. Why do that? Another thing to mention is this race is a 40-minute long race, which will require a pit stop, as my comments display just bit the dust. It just fell off my rig. We're having problems here. We're having problems here. Just a moment here. We got an emergency. Just gonna pull off here. Alrighty. I think we're good. Sorry about that. I have a little tablet I use for the comments that I put next to my steering wheel on my rig, and it just fell off because I didn't have it balanced on there the right way. Just need to get a big old magnet to keep it held down. Do you match your socks to the pedal bars on purpose? No, I just always wear green and red socks no matter the occasion. You know, it's just kind of a thing. I mean, you know, you get that Christmas spirit going on. I would like some socks where my left sock can also turn blue when I use the clutch. That'd be great. Probably need to get NASA on that one though, because that's probably not technologically possible at this stage. Or I could just wear a purple sock. Goodness, this feels so much grippier than Tuesday night. Let's see what we got here. 85 miles an hour. Let's pay attention to the speed.
This is kind of weird coming to a section that I didn't set up.
Okay, so third gear, we end up doing 83 miles an hour up the hill. Because if you're here, it was Monday night, is when the first stream was, when we did the Indy Fix and it jumped into a Formula V race in between the two Indy Fix time slots, kind of debating third and fourth gear going up the hill, and never really came to a precise conclusion other than it seemed like third was faster, but then on the forums some people were saying that fourth was faster. I'm like, I don't know. Practice this morning, track is way cooler, race will be afternoon, probably 30C track. Yeah, I mean, the race I did Monday night was just in the standard iRacing series, and you can just feel. I don't really check the track temperature ever, because I'm kind of lazy like that. So I honestly wouldn't mind if it got warmer. Kind of makes it more fun to drive. Because with the track temp being lower, you got more grip, obviously, and kind of sticks a bit better. Makes these cars that go through the corner really fast go through the corners even faster. So we are 83 miles an hour. Five, 83, 84. All right, so I think its third gear might just be or fourth gear might just be a smidge faster. Bighorn shop saved from extinction. Oh, is that the shop that we were saving Wednesday night? Bighorn sheep still endangered. That is a problem. World needs more bighorn sheep.
Clear.
Also needs more bighorn technology, but that's a different story. Turn! Then this series is also an open setup series, so we will go ahead and jump into that and kind of play around with that more. Not sure what the iRacing default setup has in terms of setup, but I'm just guessing based upon other cars in iRacing that fall into this category, and a setup guide for a real world Formula V that I may or may not have been reading over this last week. We're probably going to want to take tow out of it and make sure we're running zero tow if we're not already. So I just know with like the Spec Racer Ford, if you take the tow out of it, you end up gaining a few miles an hour straight line speed, and when you have zero speed. Fuel, we're going to need to pump this up. Get used to running on fuel. Alright, we got tow zeroed out. Honestly, I don't even know what realistically a setup is going to do on this car. Just out of curiosity. I mean, there's so little setup to do that, I mean, it's gonna do what it's gonna do.
Right side. Clear. Right side. Clear.
Yeah, don't want to hit that guy. He's the guy that's running the league. Don't want to run him over.
Hello, Mr. Orr. Good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too shabby. It got me out of work a couple hours early, so all's good.
Hell yeah. Working on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm on a Tuesday through Saturday schedule right now.
Explain what some of the letters under the FPS counter mean. Yeah. We can do that here when we get out of the corkscrew. Basically, they all relate to various different things. I'm not 100% familiar with the RNG. I believe those are graphics related. And basically, it's timers and calculations in terms of helping you tweak your graphic settings. And that did not work out. The L is latency, which is your ping. Q is quality, which is how good of a connection you actually have in terms of packet flow. If you end up seeing that creep up and start turning orange and red, that means that you're blinking out, you're jittering around out there on track on other people's screens, and that's obviously not good. C, I am not sure on. S, I am not sure on. Honestly, the other ones I'm not sure of. F is force feedback, which is basically your force feedback meter.
I had a 9-month vacation. I just went back to work about 3 weeks ago. It's tough getting used to it again.
Jeez, I've had a 1-week vacation this week, and I'm like, I don't want to go back to work. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. Yeah, just hit the lottery and be done with it, right? Should have bought GameStop. But really though. Yep, still using the CSW V2.
You got a slow car on the left. Car stop on the left. Go right.
Still have 30 days paid vacation this year. Yeah, same here. Same here. I don't know about you, but I'm in the position of I have way more vacation time than I possibly could use. It's like, you know, I don't think they will let me go ahead and just take a month off. I don't think that will fly, even though I so wish it would. Driving deeper there. If I were to hit the lottery, what racing rig would I buy? I mean, honestly, if I were to hit the lottery, I would go ahead and get myself a nice little house, kind of sort of in the middle of nowhere, you know, on the edge of town. That would be first priority. Paid for, over and done with. Not a mansion, just nice solid little house. With like a 3-car garage. Gotta have a 3-car garage. Gives you enough space because I'm not a crazy person. So that'd be first priority. Then we're talking, you know, suppose I'd probably have to think where I'd live because that would factor in as well. So on one hand, I kind of would want to stay here in Iowa, in which case that changes the answer because here in Iowa we don't have road courses. Like, that's not a thing. There's Iowa Speedway, which is basically gonna die, and it's not really a road course, as well as there's one track way out on the other end of the state from me. That's basically all you get. In which case, getting a road racing race car doesn't really make the most sense in that context, as opposed to going oval racing, where there's like 800 tracks around here. See, so you have to contextualize it. Uh-oh, we got Jason Perry 2 on here. They let the guy that runs the forums do races? That ain't right. Hi, what the reason for not streaming on Twitch? I don't know what you mean, not streaming on Twitch in my reasoning. My reasoning is that I just getting started with streaming just in general anyways, and I have an audience on YouTube and might as well at least figure it out here, and maybe, I don't know, if... See, the thing I will fully say is I exist outside of the YouTube and Twitch community. Like, I have nothing to do with any of it at this stage, and I don't follow it. I don't know if, like, Twitch is the platform I'm supposed to be on for these things. I don't know if there's more reason to be there, because... You know, I don't know if there's preferential treatment and the way that it works out in terms of this versus doing it on YouTube and having a essentially dead channel where they won't even go ahead and post your video to your viewers and subscribers.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, JP.
Win the lottery, buy and revive that road course south of Des Moines. That looks like Deep Forest Raceway. Yes. That's the plan, alright? Just gotta hit the lottery and then we'll do that. We will make Deep Forest Raceway a thing again. Did anyone from Gran Turismo ever actually come out and say that, yes, it was based on that track? Or is it just the most sheer happenstance coincidence basically ever? reason to stream on Twitch is that YouTube considers streams like normal videos, and the algorithm might screw you over. The algorithm has screwed me over so many times. It's really funny that when, and not to sound like I'm particularly complaining because I really don't particularly care. It's funny when you go into the dashboard pages and YouTube's like, oh hey, people aren't watching this video as much, and you're like, yeah, because that video is 1/4 the length of the other videos. It's not even the same length as my average watch time, so how can people like, those two things are incompatible. You're telling me two things that make no sense at all. It's just silly shenaniganry. See, the reason I could never do this as a job and why I'd never want to, and that's why I really just don't put enough effort into this, is the fact that these platforms are just so so infuriating to deal with. I'm looking at you, Twitch thoughts, alright? The hell is that shit? Pardon my French. Hey, we must have absolutely smoked that corner on that lap.
You got a slow car on the left. Car stop on the left. Go right.
We gotta roll back. Apparently it's the mother of all coincidences. Real Track never hosted any major national series other than a US RRC race or two. I mean, honestly, it's just baffling. I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things. I guess the shape of Deep Forest Raceway does kind of end up being like a generic, like, okay, we'll have a long straightaway, then we'll put a hairpin here. And now that we turned around, we got like squiggly bits. We need to pad out the track length. So maybe it just kind of ends up working that way, where that type of layout just kind of develops from when you start with a turn one hairpin. Have you considered a bathtub sim racing stream? I mean, I'm already catering to the foot fetish crowd out there, you know, why not? You gotta secure the bag, guys. You gotta secure the bag, right? At all costs, money must be made. May you not forget that. Which track would you rather have an IndyCar race at? Deep Forest, Grand Valley, or Trial Mountain? I feel like you have to say Trial Mountain just because Trial Mountain and an IndyCar would be absolutely just madness. Like the simple concept of maybe they've changed it in the more modern Gran Turismos, but I haven't played any of them since Gran Turismo 5. But instead of having barriers, just like, oh yeah, by the way, there's just a like rock cliff there on corner exit, like. Otherwise, I would have to say the answer is actually Apricot Valley is the way I'm going. Even though I know that wasn't an option that you gave me, but I feel like that would be the best real-world racetrack in Gran Turismo. Even if Grand Valley is the OG. So right now we're about half a second off the pace. Why did I grab fourth? Why did I grab fourth? That was stupid. Just totally killed the car right there. I feel like the corkscrew in this car is both incredibly easy and incredibly terrifying. Because the right rear wheel just spins up like nobody's business. In between the left part and the right part, and because, you know, iRacing, that generally doesn't work the way you would perhaps ideally like it in an ideal situation. Matt's still in the hunt for big enough shoes. Yeah, man, it's a problem. It is legitimately a problem. Like, every single shoe size out there stops at size 13 or size 14. US sizes, of course. It's like, why? My life would be so much better if only I had size 14 shoes. What doggo you got? I have got a cockapoo. Just a good little doggo. Just around here, floating around here somewhere. Judge me. Alright, judge me, because I have a small, little, cute, fluffy puppy. Okay? Hate me. I don't know, I always feel very weird because as a larger man with a small floofy dog, it's like, don't be judging me. If you disrespecting my dog, I will stab you. Okay. The only sim racer has to use a widescreen monitor for his feet. Get that man out of here. Alright, get him out of here. There. Yeah, that's a low blow, man. That's a low blow. Too far, man. You've gone too far. So apparently, looking at the relative timer, my best lap to date so far here in this session, I absolutely, totally screwed up Sector 1 massively. But yet, the rest of the track I must have just nailed comparatively. I always hate when you have that problem because it just gives you so much hope when you're on a lap and you're like, oh yeah, I'm half a second off. It just disappears. Oh! Alrighty. Alrighty. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, guys. Figured out how we need to take the corkscrew every lap from now on. dicey. Alright, how much fuel do we got in the car? Still got 1.2 gallons. You know, I keep worrying about the fuel, even though realistically, this car carries 4 gallons of fuel. I mean, it's not gonna make a huge impact. Like, you're not adding in, you know, 200 pounds of fuel, like in a Formula One car or something like that. I think we'll go ahead and go back to the garage page. We've done some laps here. We put in some laps, just kind of see what do. Oh, we're not that far off the pace. We just got to do that every single lap, because if David is a 41.2, I mean, we're reasonably here. So we'll just go ahead and watch his lap, see if there's something that we can learn. Looks like we got the same line kind of sort of going on there. He might break a little bit later into 1 or 2, I think it is. That's a 1X. Now, one thing with this league, I should also mention, and I'll mention this again when we get closer to race time, they do award points for clean racing, clean incident counts. And a lot of the guys that are racing in here are good quality clean racers, so I expect the quality of the racing to be phenomenal, which is why I'm really excited to do this race this weekend, to do this league throughout this season. Americans with their American units be like, this car carries 4 gallons, which is almost 50 hamburgers. I mean, let's be real. Which one do you got more experience with? All right, you got experience with how much a hamburger weighs, or how much a kilo weighs. In which case, if you got more experience with how much a kilo weighs, I'm getting really suspicious on you. All right, so I'm just saying, measuring in hamburgers makes more sense. At least from where I'm from. Maybe you're from a place where measuring everything in kilos makes sense because reasons, you know. Third to the top of the hill. Honestly, I am not convinced that there is one way or the other up the hill. Let's see what this guy did. I really think it's one of these things where it just depends on how you get up out of this corner that we just came out of. See, he goes up. I think they're both equally terrible. Is that an option? Both of them are just terrible gears to go in up the hill because the car literally decelerates with your foot to the floor. Give me a kilo of hamburgers. Oh, man. I do find it funny, though, here in America, that the one time that kilos actually gets mentioned is in a, you know, obviously illicit context. Like, that seems to be universally accepted. Like, it's not, oh, hey, they caught, 1,500 pounds of whatever drug at wherever. No, it's like they seized 750 kilos. Like, I don't know. I will say though, in defense, I really love you guys from everywhere else in the world who complain about Americans and our backwards units that don't make any sense. It's like, I have to understand metric and this stuff. You guys just get to use metric. I mean, come on. Y'all have it easy. Like, I'm sitting here doing this. I'm supposed to, like, know what 300 kilometers an hour is. Like, what the hell is that? Ah! That was, I think he came to join me there. The smugglers bring it from countries that use metric, so they don't bother converting. You know, it could be. I mean, it really could be that simple, but I don't know. I'm not anywhere related to that world, so I don't know if they just, you know, package it all up and then, like, stamp on a label that says 1 kilo, you know. Maybe they do that. I don't know. Do I got anybody with experience with running an illicit drug operation? Just kidding, I don't want to know. This guy is clueless. A lot of people have to learn both because the Americans feel they want to be different and use the worst system ever. Actually, you jackwagon, clearly we're joking and having fun here. And second of all, the US tried to convert to metric, alright? Like, that was a thing that happened way before I was even born, alright? And it didn't work. And plus, I'll also say, I just feel like there are things that make more sense in these backwards units that we have here in America, like, you know, lumber and stuff like that. As part of my job, I do a lot of stuff with 4-foot by 8-foot materials, and it's just a lot easier to just say 4 by 8 rather than 1440 by 2440 or 1.4 by 2.4. Like, what is that? Like, come on. It's crazy.
You cut the cord, you've got to slow down and give up that time.
I think everywhere uses metric. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily just South America. It's, you get that stuff from all sorts of places, man. But use 4 by 8 because it's called that. Yeah, I understand it, but at the same time, it's just more straightforward. Just like there's also kind of things where, to be entirely honest, relating this to cars, I think 0 to 100 in terms of kilometers an hour is a lot more just straightforward than 0 to 60, even though they're basically kind of sort of more or less the same. Or alternatively, you know, how you guys have road speeds that make more sense as opposed to, like, here in America, 55 miles an hour. Like, what, you know? Most cars don't have a little thing on the dashboard saying 55 miles an hour. You got your 40, you got your 50 mark, then you got your 60. Like, yeah. I don't know. I'm a crazy man, right? Corkscrew, man. Yes, Fahrenheit is the worst. I mean, come on. 212 degrees to boil water. like, okay, you just pick a random number. Although, let's be real, everywhere should just use Kelvin, and we should just be done with it. If we are going to become a spacefaring society, we should advance our units of measurements. Right? Drives 55 in the States anyways. I do. So I'm a responsible adult, alright? Not really, but... Well, I am, but... You know what I'm saying. Actually, US spec cars in the 70s and 80s were required to have a specific 55 mile per hour increment highlighted on the dash speedometer, as that was the national speed limit at the time.
Got to slow down and give up that time.
You know what? I just realized that you saying that just reminded me of something. Like way back when the we can lower the tire pressure. Alright, we're gonna go back to defaults here and just see what kind of difference we got. I really didn't feel that spring rate change did any difference at all. But yeah, I totally forgot that was a thing. Like, I remember distinctly, like, way back when I was a kid, we had a old Oldsmobile in the family. It was silver with a red interior. Thank goodness the world has moved on from colors like color combos like that and just random generic cars. They had the little thingy on there, like a little orange line. I think like all the GMs did. Using triple screens right now? No. I'm running that single screen of life. Alright, mental note, guys. Mental note when it comes to race time. When we start to get more serious here, as well as practice time, or qualifying time. Cold tires don't feel like they make a lick of difference until instantly they do. So just keep that in mind. Cold tires don't matter until they do. It's kind of the story of everything in life. Nothing matters until it does. I do think one thing we'll have to go ahead and kind of keep an eye out is just the gap in speeds. Although
Right
this
side.
session does look pretty well balanced.
Still there, hold your line.
But I just know in the Discord
Keep to the
server
left.
for this league, a
Clear.
couple guys were talking and their lap times were going to be a little bit off the pace. And I know this is a league that is friendly to more inexperienced drivers. So it really kind of runs the gamut. Tires heat up faster in Celsius. No, they don't. They heat up slower in Celsius. I mean, they heat up the slowest in Celsius. I mean, if you measured your tire temperature in Kelvin A, you would be just some sort of freaking crazy wacko weirdo, madman, scientist, guru guy, as well as your tires would heat up even faster.
Got a slow down penalty.
I think we've figured out a way to break physics. Speaking of all this discussion about measuring temperature in Kelvin, if you guys want to start bugging, you know, all these game development studios to include that as an option, that'd be great, just for hilarity. I mean, we can have Fahrenheit and Celsius. Why can't we have Kelvin in there? All right. Every game should have a mode where it just randomizes all of the units, and it's just called Scientific Hell. You're measuring your tire temperatures and in Kelvin. You're measuring your horsepower and goofy units. I don't know. I'm not a science guru. I just throw everything at it. Just all of the stupid units. Nothing makes any sense. It's just all over the board. Figure it out. My dude, 60 miles per hour is 96.56 kilometers per hour. So how on earth could you do 60 miles per hour but not 100 kilometers an hour? Well, easy. If your car can't do 100 kilometers an hour but it can do 60 miles an hour, that's how you end up in that scenario. Am I missing something goofy going on in chat? Because I think that makes pretty good sense. It seems very far-fetched that your car wouldn't be able to do 62 miles an hour, but, you know. Think if your car can do 60, it could probably eke out a mile an hour or two more beyond that. But, you know, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, right? You know, judging by that green meter, fourth is the way to go. I think we have our definitive answer. Fourth up the hill and just floor it. V would be way too slow in light speed. Yeah, there we go. Our scientific hell version of the game can also measure car speed and light speed. Just all sorts of shenaniganry. Who do I think for IndyCar pole? Not a flippin' clue. And that's a great thing because, I mean, we live in a time where, honestly, if you're not watching IndyCar, you're probably missing out. But qualifying in particular is literally, they just throw I guess 25 names in a hat this week, and then they just kind of reach on in there, and that determines the starting grid. But yet they actually have to drive the car, but it's still entirely random. Not a clue. I just know it won't be it won't be one of about 5 guys who got no chance, but everyone else could possibly just randomly get the pole. I really do wonder, though, how this race is going to play out, because, I mean, lap times could be 100% entirely irrelevant, because the draft is a major factor in this car. But I don't know if there's going to be enough speed difference within this environment that it kind of becomes clumps of, you know, the really fast guys, the average guys, the slow guys. Or if it's just going to keep everybody balled up together. Anyone still believe R Factor 2 is a good purchase in 2021? Well, actually, you know, first thing I'll go ahead and mention here, I started working on a sim racing buyer's guide thingamajigger, kind of to sort of answer that question from the perspective of newer drivers. Yeah, I realize I'm over a year late at this stage, but hey, honestly, R Factor 2 I would only recommend if you would be willing and able to put up with some of the things that you'll have to put up with as part of the R Factor 2 experience. Now that said, you always got to keep in mind there's a reason why there are people that are just super hardcore into that game. I think it's just a case of if that game is not something that's going to suit you, you're going to have a very bad time. Or else alternatively, if you're willing to put up with that stuff and kind of wade through it a little bit more, like, yeah, there's an experience to be had there. I feel like that corner keeps getting faster and faster and faster.
You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
So I need to do the fuel calculations. Alright, I think we're going to go back and pump that spring rate up in the back again, because I feel like just kind of got nowhere with that. The thing is, I don't think it was necessarily setup related. Let's see here, which way is... I always hate this because I can never remember which way is which around within iRacing, because iRacing and all the other sims, you know, they do things differently. and you just end up with this goofy scenario where trying to remember which way is which way around for the measurements in the garage page is often like I have to actively read it because otherwise it's just not going to happen. Let's just lower that rear ride height, see what happens. Can we get speedy bullet action here? Alright, remember guys, cold tires don't matter until they do matter. And where they matter is this next corner up here. Easy squeezy. Mirror, seat. I want to know what percentage of the player base still doesn't know what in the world the game is saying when you move the mirrors in the seat. Because I will unashamedly admit that it took me surprisingly long to figure out that it was some guy just yelling, seat. With like a weird distortion filter on it. Mirror.
Blue car ahead. Car stop on the left. Go right.
What the heck did I do on my lap that I'm measuring against? 0.2 of a second. Where did I have a draft? You know, I keep flinging through the corkscrew with this thing, and I just have to think every single time, what if this had the old curbing that they had in the corkscrew back in the 90s, you know, when it was actually curbing? When Zanardi decided to just, you know, YOLO it. Like, actual proper curbs in the corkscrew. How much more exciting iRacing races would be from here, given that this is a rookie track. Just imagine all the rookie MX-5s just smacking the snot out of it. See carnage at the bottom of the hill every single time. I mean, the fuel load is relatively similar because I'm pretty sure our fastest lap was early on in the run-ish. And I mean, you are only carrying at most 4 gallons of fuel, so it's not like you're really carrying a tremendous amount. It's like, yeah, honestly, you know, obviously, you know, relative to the weight of the car and everything, it's going to have a bigger impact, even if it is less, but... Ah! Want a joke? This season I decided to watch NASCAR, not Formula One. I'm tired of the dominance of one driver. And here Larson and Hendrick are winning. Well, you know what? You just don't go start watching IndyCar then, because you are bad luck and you bring ruination and boredom to every series you follow, apparently. So you just stay over there. Try fourth gear and first right-hander and faster on throttle. Alright, it's worth a shot. Give it a go. Still 5/10 off. Managed to find 5/10 and then they find 5/10. It's like, ugh. Ugh. God, I'm so bad at this. So bad. Hendrick dominating. Much greater than JGR dominating. You know, this is where you put the image of you know, the Office meme. They're the same thing. Oh shit, I was supposed to try fourth gear through there. I don't think fourth gear is going to do anything through there, though. But we do have to try it. Gotta at least do an effort, right?
You got a slow car on the left.
That was close.
Car stopped ahead.
Empty box, you're back. I haven't seen you pop up in a while. Just a PSA on that. I've been kind of back for a week or so-ish. But just one thing I do want to address. If you're unfamiliar, the way YouTube works is they really don't like people like myself who just kind of disappear. Which means that it screws you over in the algorithm, and what happens is the videos that I do make get pushed to you less and less often, even when I do actually make them. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And unfortunately, given that I don't make the type of content where you can get away with that and just like beat up the algorithm, it screws me over. So just every now and then, if you haven't seen one of my videos, just check my channel. Maybe I uploaded and YouTube just didn't push it to you. And I would say, you know, do the ring the bell thing and all that stuff, you know, that everybody on this platform tells you, but even then, I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. It's just YouTube is YouTube's YouTube. I don't know, maybe it is the fuel load. Like, I don't feel like the car's faster, but I think maybe the balance just shifts enough. Because, I mean, since we started talking about it, we've only burned, you know, half a gallon. So, I mean, that's, what, 4 pounds of weight burnt off? Like, that's not... It's not a lot. Yeah, fourth ain't gonna work. Fourth gear, first turn. I'm gonna go with no. That's one I don't need to try out to tell you that don't work. You know, it's kind of funny, this lap I hit turn 1 fairly well. We were actually up there, and then we weren't. Although we did try 4th in that first right-hand corner, so that's probably that. Well, now we also got the draft kind of sort of working in here. It's going to affect our lap time, but it doesn't really matter. Pretty happy with the way the car drives. No, not hugely concerned. I mean, yeah, we're half a second off the pace, but I'm surprisingly pleased with that, to be entirely honest, just knowing the people that are in here.
Blue car ahead. Car stopped ahead.
When I do look at the optimal time, we are pretty close on time. So it's like, if we could put a lap together, we could theoretically be right there at the front of the grid. A Ukrainian commentator said there hasn't been such dominance in NASCAR since the 1950s. First of all, I just gotta ask, like, you following NASCAR from Ukraine? Like, that's hardcore right there. As well as the fact that I'm surprised that you could even follow NASCAR in Ukraine. Like, it's hard enough to be a like Formula One fan even here in the United States, where there's still like a pretty sizable fan base. I imagine you're probably the only guy in Ukraine that gives a hoot about NASCAR, but I could be wrong. But just it's pretty sweet. Backseat driving suggestions allowed? Yeah, I mean, backseat driving's not, as long as it doesn't become, you know, just like full-on toxic, cancerous stuff. I mean, hey, if you got speed secrets, why wouldn't I be willing to listen to them here? Yeah, the draft in these
Car on
cars
your
is super, super massive.
Still there, hold your line. Clear. Right side, clear.
And that's why this thing's going to be such a blast to race. So hopefully we'll have 60 cars out there on track. Some good quality drivers, some good clean racing in a league that promotes good quality clean racing. So hopefully it's not, you know, like what we saw in the stream I did Monday night where we ended up going 4 wide into the final corner for the win, and some guy was just never going to make the corner. Okay, then only suggestion, no lift, or no brake, just lift, second final corner, and more wheel. We'll give it a go.
Car on your left, clear. Car right,
Alright, let's practice, let's see what this guy's got.
still there, hold your line.
Because we just
Clear.
totally get absolutely nowhere. Apparently this car really doesn't like being power shifted. This season, for the first time, NASCAR is officially shown on Ukrainian television. Nice. Well, we were up that sector, so maybe there's something to the just lift and pitch. Just need internet and you can follow anything. Yeah, but at the same time, it's also kind of one of those things where when you have to like really go out there and relatively dig deep to really get into it and find it, you know, it becomes much trickier to really get into it, you know? Especially as I imagine that the time difference and everything, some of the evening or night races probably have to be kind of a bit of a pain to deal with. So I mean, those races then would be basically middle of the night. And I'm actually kind of surprised that I could be more aggressive trying to get by this guy, but definitely be more aggressive trying to get by him, but kind of was figuring that with the slipstream and everything, based off of previous stream, we might just dust everyone down the straightaway, and that'd be more or less that.
Car on your left. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
We'll just cruise around the outside, do what we do.
Right side. Keep to the left. Clear on the right. You got it. Slow car on the right. Go
Banana
left.
peel. Oh goodness, iRacing, iRacing. This is like super serious, and then all of a sudden a car just jumps into the air.
Right side.
Just like, oh.
Stay on the left. Clear.
It's like snap back to reality. So I think the thing is to kind of point it in there in turn one, even though we were obviously slow that time around, but take a more direct line with it. Definitely gives you more confidence as well, because the rear end's not trying to come around if you're running that line versus if you're trying to run the more middle of the road line.
Car stop on the left.
How many grid positions? This league is set up to run, as far as I'm aware, maximum size grid. So we should end up with 60 cars in this race, from what I gather.
Slow car ahead.
Providing that
Car stopped
60
ahead.
people join in. But I don't expect that to be a problem. I don't know how many people are in this session, but they have two practice and qualifying sessions. Because there was like 100 people that signed up to join this league. So because you can't have 100 cars on one track here in iRacing, they have to split it up in between two. So that's why there's such a big time difference between the qualifying and then the race. The qualifying session is a 30-minute session, and then there's like a 15-minute break after that qualifying session to actually join the race session itself. So we'll have a little bit of downtime then and there. So are you gonna race? Yeah, we're definitely.
You have about 5 laps
Like
of fuel left.
I've been looking forward to this race all week. Like the whole thing has been building up to this and getting all the streaming and everything set up and working right. Because I'm tremendously excited. The idea of racing these things in this type of environment with good quality drivers that aren't going to be reckless, boneheaded, heat-seeking missiles, hopefully, is just going to be absolutely tremendously fun. I should also mention there is a demo derby after the race, so you got that to look forward to as well.
Go left.
I don't know how I feel about that one because I've not practiced for the demo derby. I'm not sure they would be too kind of me to start practicing for the demo derby here in this practice session. I don't think that would go over all that well. Yeah. Glad I watched you here because now I need to shift up to fourth in a lot more places than I have been. Yeah, the big thing to be aware of with this car is you don't really rev it out. That third shift light, the one that's basically right in the middle, is what I use as the shift light. Because that's really pretty much close to optimal. It's reasonably close, at least, to the point where, unless you're going to be running one of those beeper apps, so that way you get the exact perfect, you know, beep shift thing going on. I wonder what these cars would be like on a short track. Someone commented on the put together video I did that apparently up in Canada there was some short track in Ontario where the guys that raced the Formula V, they all ended up doing a race on one of the local short tracks up there, and apparently from the indication that was given in the comment, it was absolutely crazy insanity to the point where they never did it again. And they're just like, yeah, that's... I do wonder if there's video evidence of this, though, because I feel like that would be something well worth watching as a morbid curiosity. Cars that have like no power, no speed, just throw them on an oval. Have at it. Then again, I guess this thing's probably not really all that much different in that sense from like a Bandolero. So I mean, that's an oval racing car. I mean, obviously this is very different from that, but in terms of that's what iRacing needs. iRacing needs a Bandolero. It's a joke, by the way. Wait, what do you mean short tracks? Short tracks generally refer to small ovals. I mean, technically anything less than a 1 mile oval is considered a short track. But most people, when they say short track, they're talking like half a mile or less.
You cut the course, you've got to slow down and give up that time.
Which those are like the tracks that most people have in their area. Kind of like the local level racing. Oh, I do have a tear-off button, I just don't use it, you know? Tear-offs are free immersion. You know? There's no need. There is no need to take a tear-off. Honestly, I don't know what I did before they added tear-offs in, because having all the grime and stuff built on your screen and your monitor, especially when you're in VR, it's just like, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and switch over here. Oh snap. 5 lap average fuel use, 1.5 gallons per lap. Where is Where is my phone? Alright, we need to do some calculations here. We got a qualifying session here. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to focus on the most exciting here. I'm going to do my fuel calculations now, just that way I remember them. TV mix is what we want, so go ahead and just hide that for now. So just one moment. Alrighty, so we should need about 3.8 gallons of fuel. And I might be kind of screwing myself over here because this probably is going to be a drafting qualifying session. But the fastest lap in this session, and again, there's 2 sessions going on right now. I don't have access to the other one because I'm in this one, but it was a 40.466, so no idea if that was draft assisted or not. I suppose we could go back and see. Just for giggles. Yeah, he had some form of tow. It's so hard to tell though with the lap times and everything because the draft can make such a huge difference in this car that so we got a 30-minute open qualifying, and you can go ahead and run as many laps as you so desire in this qualifying. So we'll go ahead and get out there, take some fuel out of the car, change our screen color, and go with purple. I was told you run the purple screen because you want to set purple sectors. Some guy on the forum pointed that out, and I'm like, you know what? You are a smart person. You are well and truly out here playing 4D chess. So just FYI, spread the gospel of the purple screen. There's an excellent Formula V in AMS and AMS2. Hell yeah, brother! That thing's a blast. I was actually driving that around last night in Automobilista 2 because I've been firing that up and hitting that one pretty hard, just my own free time. I will say, it's really strange going from this car in iRacing to that car because this one has just so much tire on it comparatively, as well as I think those cars have just more power in general, or probably just a specification difference, because you know those cars can actually break 100 miles an hour and this thing can't. So over there in those cars you're just like, holy moly, the speed! Ah!
You cut that corner and got a slow down penalty.
Yeah, I just 360 no scope the corkscrew, you know, no big deal, you know, just things that happen, you know. Nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here. Remember, cold tires don't matter. Except for when they randomly do. It's alright though. It's our out lap, throwaway lap. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. foot cam is frozen. Oh my god! Well, fortunately, this time around, I am more prepared. Boom. Problem solved. Not really. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Believe me, I am far more frustrated than I'm pretty sure any of you guys are, because I don't understand why it keeps doing that. It's like, I literally have tried every single USB port on my computer. Tried power hubs, unpowered hubs. I don't know. It's not meant to be. Slow! I feel like that was an okay lap.
About 5 laps of fuel left.
41.6 with no draft at all. Not great, not terrible. Definitely can go faster in the last corner as long as we hit it right, so. There's absolutely time on the clock left. How much content is there in the base iRacing subscription? I mean, I'm going to take the cop-out answer, and maybe there's someone in the comment section who will answer you a little bit more, but there's not a whole lot. The easiest way is just to go check on their website. But depending on what you're looking for, you know, there's still plenty of fun to be had there. You know, for example, the Formula V is part of the base subscription. Laguna Seca is part of the base subscription. I mean, you could be out here, you know, once you get your D-Class license and racing in this league as well. And the Formula V series are actually running on just base content tracks all season. This league will kind of differ from the main iRacing series schedule, but I mean, you can race MX-5s and Formula Vs and, you know, the street stock and some of the other oval cars and stuff like that without spending any more than what you're going to spend on your subscription. It's just a matter of no one really particularly wants to gravitate towards like the Formula V, Spec Racer Ford, MX-5s. Like, people don't get into sim racing generally for these level of cars, so it just kind of like becomes a thing where you have to get more according to anyone and everyone whenever we're talking about iRacing and all that. No! Oh no, we're gonna have to slow down. Whatever will we do? I'm just clearing out my slowdown penalty. Just clearing out my slowdown penalty. I'm thinking the guy behind me might have had a slowdown penalty as well. We're gonna go ahead and go down, grab second gear. I don't know what the league stance on this is. I don't see why they'd have a problem. It's part of it, but hopefully we're close enough to grab a little bit of a slipstream, get a little bit of boost, because this is qualifying after all. Lap times do matter. Oh, let's see if he's like, yeah, no, not at my house. remember, guys, we're clearing out our slowdown penalty. All right. That's why he caught up to us. That's why we're behind him.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like to hear. There we go. That should be a pretty decent lap. Try to return the favor here.
Still there, hold your line. Clear.
He is ahead of us on the grid. Ah, that's scruffy. Well, maybe he just had a better
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
slipstream on his lap, because we do kind of be kind of comfortably out in front of him here. No!
You cut the course, you've got it.
Well, that's gonna do that.
Time.
Yeah, Niels, this thing is definitely it's gripped up. It's very, very grippy. I don't know. iRacing on their forums. I don't know if you saw, because I'm guessing you probably don't read the iRacing forums all that much. But they mentioned specifically that they were creating this weird, goofy amalgamation of like various Formula Vs mixed mashed. So apparently this one has probably slightly less power than what a lot of these cars have worldwide, as well as having more tire. Which I don't know if it's a case of iRacing realizing that they're making a rookie car, and so therefore giving it maybe a little bit less power, giving it certainly a bit more tire will make it more beginner friendly and straightforward in the environment, or if it's they made the car the way it should have been made, and then they decided that, holy shit, people ain't gonna be able to drive this thing. It is kind of weird, because this is supposedly, well, it's one of iRacing Staffer's cars that he races in the real world, but then they're like, we're making this a different specification. Like, why'd you do that? That just seems kind of weird, unless there's something getting lost in translation between the guy building the car, the guy making the car, the guy who scanned the car, and all that stuff. So I don't know. It seems kind of silly, but I will say, you know, we'll have some fun with this thing. AMS1 is very silly oversteery at times. Yeah, I think it'll definitely get you. I do kind of wonder though, because every now and then It's part of that car setup series thing that I'm kind of still working on behind the scenes. I put together another episode of that the other day. And I took the Lotus 49 out to Lime Rock Park just to get some pictures, and I tried driving that thing here in iRacing. It's just like, holy moly, maybe there's a reason why they gave the Formula V so much tire comparatively, because maybe there's a serious issue when you start removing tire from these things. I don't consider myself a particularly great driver by any means, but that thing, I couldn't even get that thing around the lap of Lime Rock Park without just basically peeing my pants in terror the whole time. I really hate those red things. Have I ever mentioned I hate those red things? Not that. Not that that's surprising to anyone. Bias ply tires on these things might be even more fun. You know, I was thinking about that watching SRX last week, because I guess they're running on bias ply tires as opposed to radials that NASCAR's moved to, and it's like, at least unless I'm wrong, and it kind of made me think, like, wait a minute, like, we're watching these guys and they're like battling out, slipping and sliding, and all this good stuff that we as fans want to see, right? Maybe the reason NASCAR sucks these days is because they moved away from bias ply tires. Maybe that's part of the problem in of itself, because it is much more spectacular when cars are out there sliding around and squirming and wriggling and dancing, because it's more exciting to watch, even if, you know, probably doesn't really affect the racing all that much in the grand scheme of things, but it just looks more interesting and exciting. You know, there's something special about iRacing. There really is. The whole cold tires thing and how they don't matter and then they do matter, but then if you get it right, you just go stupidly fast, and it's like, oh, why can't I do that on my actual hot lap, qualifying lap, as opposed to just my warm-up lap? Let's come out. I think we're going to be simultaneously too far behind this guy for a draft, but at the same time too close for a draft. If that makes any sense. I think we'll probably catch up to him a little bit. Or alternatively, we're just not going to get any effect out of it.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
It don't matter anyways, because it's pulling over. Sad his feel. So my question is anybody in the other session for this league? Or have any ideas of what times they're running over there? Because I imagine they got to be pretty much the same. But I don't know which session the fastest guys are in. So I know David is stupid fast. But I know there's some other guys as well that I think should be in here that aren't, so I assume they're either not showing up or they're in the other session. How's the dog doing? Haven't heard her once all stream. She's out in my living room. She's got a spot on the couch. She's got her own seat. She likes to just kind of chill out there every now and then.
You cut that corner and got a slow down penalty.
Dog's probably thinking, why is that human talking to itself?
You have
Like,
about 2
it's
laps
really
of fuel left.
strange. Like, these humans are just weird. Do they all do that? What dog race is she? Who? Maybe this is just like a dialect thing or translate. Yeah, okay, there we go. Wait, time out here. It's gonna be like, wait, am I about to find out that the rest of the world, instead of referring to dogs by their breed, they refer to them by their race? Like, is this pretty funny? She is a little 15-pound cockapoo, a cocker spaniel poodle mix. She's the sweetest little thing ever. I feel like every time I get to this corner, I try and go faster through it. And I'm like, you know, you can basically take that corner flat out. And then I realize that you can't take that corner flat out, so I don't even try. It's a translate thing. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Although I still like the idea of referring to dogs by their races. Well, I get the feeling we're gonna need to go do a serious hardcore draft lap. Go ahead and try and maybe get this thing working again. Alrighty, just one moment here. You know what? And do qualifying. We'll try and take care of that during the break. Because I'm not really disappointed with where it looks like we'll be starting. Because, you know, I've never been known as a qualifier in the slightest. And I think this is going to be a case where in a race like this, qualifying won't matter all that much as long as you just kind of stick in there. Stay up there competitive in a pack. Had to step away a bit, as Matt said. Quality lap, yes. We're just going out trying to better it, if possible. I think it's going to be contingent on the draft, and that guy behind me just looped it, so we probably won't get a better lap unless someone comes out of the pits at the right time. So we're about 9/10 off. Part of that is, of course, the draft, but probably should have been more aggressive in getting out there and running at the start of the session. But not really concerned. I'm just here for the SR, boys. Yeah, I'm assuming they'll probably, I don't know if they are going to coagulate all the times into one, or if they're just going to be, we're 9th in session 2, so therefore we'll start in, you know, outside of row 9 type affair. But if this session is faster, and there's been a couple people in the comments that kind of indicated that this might be the faster session of the two, that, I mean, we're starting 12th or 15th, you know, somewhere thereabouts. It's not really a terrible starting position in the grand scheme of things. At least by my standards.
You got about 5 laps of fuel left.
It is a 40-minute race that will require a pit stop. It should be about a 24-lap race. So I think we'll need about 5 gallons of fuel, thereabouts. I'll say it is kind of depressing seeing green on the split timer, but you just know that even though no matter how hard you drive and how good you nail a corner, it doesn't actually matter because you're going to get this. It's like you can drive a lap that is technically better, but just because of the draft and all that, you're going to go much slower. But that's how it works. You know, it's
You've got about 2 laps of fuel.
Well, that's going to do it. We're going to end this session in 9th place, but even if we do have a full grid in the other session as well, and they're going to need to trim the field, we'll be well and truly qualified. So That's the important thing. You never know. Whenever you go into a league, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like when jump into a league session in a new environment, you're like, who's the fast guys? Who are the slow guys? What's going to all play out here? How's this all going to work out? You know, who's the guy to look out for? Who isn't the guy to look out for? Type thing. And I'm just always like chronically nervous that I'm going to be like the slowest guy. Even though I know in this league there's, you know, drivers with like rookie level iRating, you know, attempting to make the race, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. But it's like, even though I know that, and I know that I shouldn't have any problem being faster than those guys, I still get nervous about whether or not I'm going to be faster than those guys. So anyways, there's going to be about a 10 to 15 minute break here in between sessions, because they have to go ahead and set up a new session and actually get the grid set up and everything based upon the qualifying times. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go grab a drink. We're going to take a little break here, and then we'll be right on back. I'm just going to keep the stream leaving, but we'll be back in about 10, 15 minutes, somewhere thereabouts. And Pete, the time zone at the bottom are Central Time. They're my local time zone. So it's probably a different time than where you are, but hopefully at least with the schedule on there, it kind of gives you an idea of what time we're looking at in terms of the next bit of action going on. So just going to step away for a moment, and we'll be back in a bit. Am I a weird person because I go outside to let the dog out and I'm all like scanning the surroundings, being like, are any of my neighbors outside? I can't let them see me in these ridiculous socks. Yeah, here we are live streaming with the ridiculous green and red socks. But hopefully we got pedal cam back up and running here for the actual race. I unplugged everything and it looked like it popped back up. So just waiting for the session to go live. Should go up in about 3 minutes or so, and then we'll have a short little warm up and then race time. So things are getting ready to get spicy here. Finally getting to the good part. So how are you guys all doing today? Everyone having a great day? Hopefully nice, enjoyable. Good weather where you're at. Just enjoying a relaxing weekend. Uh, Ryan TH, Ryanth. Not sure which one it is, but both. I'm both afraid they'll think I'm weird for wearing these socks, or the fact that they'll judge me, or alternatively, and perhaps the worst case scenario, they'll be like, "Why are you wearing ridiculous mismatched socks that are green and red?" And then I'll have to like, so I'm playing a game on the internet and like other people are watching it and like they're watching my feet at the same time, and it's just gonna get really awkward really quick. Like, it's just not a conversation I am prepared to, or equipped to handle, like it's just. I just hope the foot cam actually makes it through the race, because I really am so displeased with it. Because I feel like it should work. I got everything set up. I put in way too much time to get all these overlays and everything set up and figure out how to work OBS and learn all this stuff, and yet like the foot cam is just out here just trying to keep me down. Tell them how tall you are walking a poodle-sized dog. Hey, don't. It's. I mean, I've obviously talked to my neighbors before, because we did have a Midwest hurricane come through here last year. That was a fun experience. It's like, hey, you've lived next door to me for like 3 months now, and I've never seen you before because you work second shift, and I don't know who you are, and I'm not the type of person to go out there and casually converse with the neighborhood, but like your fence is all over my backyard. My backyard's all over your fence. We got problems here. I guess you gotta. That's legitimately how I met one of my neighbors. Well, actually, two of my neighbors. Like, oh hey, everything's destroyed. Well, I guess. Nice to meet you. And if I can figure out how to find this session here, we should be good to go. What is it called? What is it called? The session should be live. I'm trying to find it. Unless I still have to go back in through the old iRacing user interface, because reasons. Where is that? I don't remember what the. Oh, iRacing. there it is. It's there in the old iRacing user interface. That's just great. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing, but yeah. Matt, wear 2 green socks and use them as a green screen so you can put your pedal inputs inside your socks. ZBTE, you are a madman. You're just out there. Just I mean, you're beyond 4D right there. You're in full-on 5D mode. You are so far ahead of everyone else here. You're just like, you'd be living in the future. It's nice. I should learn how to do that. That would be pretty nifty, honestly. Alright, so we're loading up here. And then we'll get back into the point where it counts. And all of a sudden, just like all of my windows here are just all over the place. I just... If any of you guys out there have any tips on streaming and working with 2 screens, that would be great, because I swear to goodness, every single time I open up iRacing, it just like throws all of my windows onto the TV that I have back behind my rig, as opposed to like on my monitor, which is at my desk, which is where I want everything to be except for iRacing. But then it just buries everything, and it's like right now I have to rearrange all my windows. It's stupid. Suppose the solution is probably don't run iRacing in full screen mode, instead run it in windowed mode. But then when you're on a 4K monitor but you're running it at 1080, then you have to resize the window and it screws everything up anyways. I digress. Let's go ahead and get back into the festivities here. And my game looks like crap. Like, what the flip? It looks like it's coming through fine on stream, but for whatever reason, my game on my end just looks very flat. Like, very... like the contrast just got turned to 0. Not going to affect anything. Just driving in colorblind mode here today. It's probably HDR goofing up and being problematic, but... anyways. Well, there's at least 38 people in here. We do need to reset the fuel for the race. Can't forget that.
You got a slow car on the right.
Also do a practice pit entry, so we'll actually go ahead and should we deselect our tires, because I'm pretty sure we're not taking tires in the series. Guy, gotta give him thumbs up for the livery. And the good old BAR Honda there.
Car on your left. You got a slow car on the left. Clear on the left.
I really wanted to do a pit entry, but you know, when there's a guy,
go right.
You know, kind of sort of there. That's a rotator cuff injury.
Laps of fuel left. Car right. Clear on the right.
Yeah, my question is, does iRacing really think that the flag animation looks good? Or do they just leave him the way he is because it's kind of like a meme at this point? Because surely they can make a better animation than the flag man that looks like he's never waved a flag before. And he's like one of these celebrities. that are like the grand marshal
You
of
got a slow car on the right.
a race, and they just wave the flag. We're like, have you ever watched this before? Like, do you? Like, did you? Fourth gear, please. That's weird. Stink of the gear. But let's be real. Am I the only one that is extraordinarily judgmental when I see these grand marshal people show up to these events, and then they just totally like, they either wimpily wave the flag, or alternatively they just like do nothing but wave their arm around like a total weirdo? Because I certainly am very judgmental with that. Like, that's right up there in my book with the people who get to say, driver, start your engines, or what have you. And they just like, driver, start your engines. Like, come on! Alright, I'm going to try something here. Oh my god, that fuel flow. Fuel flow rate is something. Alright, just a second here. Stream might go a little goofy, but I'm going to try and figure out my view settings here. Alright, everything looks good. Pedal cam died again. Alright, one last time. Probably shouldn't be doing this with like no time before the race, but we're gonna do it.
Warm up.
Alrighty, well, we just have to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Good luck, everybody. Have fun.
We just have to do that all the time, you know? Just, oh, we're starting 10th? Man, we did have the fast session. Yeah, 41
Good luck,
cars.
guys.
One to go. Next time by. Line up on the right side. Pit road is closed right now.
Yep, good luck, everybody. First, just welcome to the inaugural race of our first season of this league. Appreciate everybody showing up and got a good turnout today. Ought to be a lot of fun. If you haven't raced with us, as you noticed on all my posts, we have a reputation for being one of the cleanest but most competitive. There are bonus points for 0 and 1 incident, so you're going to want to keep it clean. With so many cars on track, make sure you give a little extra room, especially the first couple of laps. Let things settle out a little bit. If you're faster than the guy, you'll get a chance to get around him. 40 minutes is a long race. Added in the fuel stop. So again, appreciate everybody coming out and supporting the league. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the SRC broadcasting, so you'll be able to go back and watch it afterwards. Demo Derby will be after the race, and we'll do it there in the Andretti hairpin. Just when you're done, you can go there and wait. We need to make sure the last guy has finished. Incidents will count up to that point. Your time remaining, if you watch that, will flip over from 0 to 5 or 10 minutes or something like that. So when that flips over, we're good to go. Somebody will let you know that you're cleared to engage as well.
Target confirmed
So
hostile.
most of all,
Clear
have
to
fun,
engage.
good luck, and we will catch you on the other side.
Alrighty, guys, you heard it. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road here. 40-minute race will require a pit stop for some fuel. And again, this is a league where clean racing is strongly encouraged.
Post car is off. Time to do your job.
Give me the
Green
power!
flag, green flag.
Give me the power! And we're off! Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go
Car on your
Formula V racing, right?
Clear on the left. Car on your left. Go left. Go left. Left side. You're in the middle. 3 wide. Left
Well,
side,
so much
2
for the
wide.
clean racing
Clear
thing.
on the left.
That
Go
didn't
left.
last very long. But we survived. Check to make sure we got all the important bits still intact.
Left side.
All right, remember, cold tires.
Still
Cold
there, hold
tires.
the line. Clear on the left. Left side. Slow car ahead. Go right. Still there. Clear on the left.
Oh my goodness, man.
Clear on the left. Right side. Clear on the right.
This is not what I was expecting. This is not what I was expecting. This is not what I signed up for. This is chill out, guys. Just have some patience. Meanwhile, the two guys up front just kind of sneak away.
Go left. Car
No!
right. Go left.
Sorry.
Clear on the right.
No!
For fuck's sake. If you've been in a crash, put your brakes on. Oh, no, fuck it.
You're in 5th. Left side.
This is not what I was expecting, guys.
Really, dude?
That is hugely disappointing. You know how I said this league is
Come on, guys, let's think.
really promoting clean racing? It's a case of, I believe we started in 10th place, we passed cars that were wrecking, we got past more cars that were wrecking, and somehow we came out at the end of the lap 1 in 5th place.
Car right. Still there.
So just chill out here.
Clear.
Guy coming with the draft, no need to try and block him or anything like that. Man, we got cars flying all through the air here today.
Car on your left. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the left.
And apparently everyone's just faster than me today. Gotta get a move on. That slipstream's just so powerful coming up the hill here. Just chill, have patience. Hopefully the leaders come back to us. Although if these guys are going to drive like this and try and constantly be passing one another, they're not going to come back to us.
Just go by on the left, please.
Yeah, they do not look patient indeed. Like, I think this guy in this car that's directly in front of us, I think he's relatively patient. Just kind of judged by what I saw in practice, because I kind of was following him around for a short little while, but not so confident with the guy in purple, and I think he's kind of the X factor. A lap down. I mean,
You guys can have the inside at the end ready hairpin.
we're already draft snaking. There's 32 minutes left and we're draft snaking.
Right side. Clear on the right.
This guy's run wide there half of the laps. Man, I know that's not a corner that you're really particularly likely to lose it running wide there, but yeah, you're not running wide if you're just casually logging your laps. Launch. Who do we go with? Who do we go with?
Right side. Still there. Still there. Clear.
Now things have kind of settled out a little bit more. we're slow through that corner. We might need to drop down to third. Seven three at the line last lap. What's it going to be this lap? 5.6.
You got a slow car on the left.
I mean, if we can gain that kind of ground on them every lap, I'm perfectly content here. Because ideally, I'd really like to get back up to the leaders, because that's obviously a requirement to end up winning the race. That is the goal here. I mean, this guy in the purple car, he's definitely got some speed.
Car right. Clear on the right. Car on
Heavy
your left.
blinking suddenly, friend.
Clear.
So it's going to be the same at the line.
Go on the right, Antonio. Go on the right.
Right side. Still there. Clear. Left side. Clear.
Go ahead and pass me on the
Left
braking.
side. Still there.
Not the brightest move.
Keep to the right. Clear on the left.
Definitely not the brightest idea I've ever had there, but, you know, worked.
Left side.
Charge, Kenneth.
Stay on the right.
Come on, fall in line, fall in line. Yes.
Clear on the left.
Smart move, smart move. Alright, if they slipstream on it back up here, we'll go ahead and let them by.
You're in fourth position. Left side.
On the inside
Keep to
line.
the right.
It's the preferred line.
Clear. Left side. Clear.
Purple guy just got out to too big of a lead at this point.
Left side. Clear.
Oh gee, surprising! It didn't work for you! Shocker! Shocker! It didn't work. Oh, pedal cam died again.
Thanks, Danny.
Sorry, guys. You know, sometimes I just don't understand.
Go through on the inside.
Left side. Clear.
Go ahead, Kenneth.
It's just like, realistically, even if he got by, you're going up the hill in a car with no power. You're going to be much better off just sitting in the slipstream and waiting, passing the guy on the straight, which is going to cost you literally no time at all, and you're not going to lose control of the car. It's just like, you got to think ahead, people. Like, same reason there's carnage and shenanigans happen at the start of a 40-minute Formula V race here. It's like the only mistake is to end up not in the race. That's the only mistake you can make. So don't make that mistake. 'Cause, I mean, even still, we're coming back. We're 5 seconds to the guys at the front. And it's just going to close down because when there's 3 of them up there battling for position, that's going to slow them down again. And it's going to keep compressing the field. It's just like, there's no need to be in a hurry. Have some patience, man.
Thank you, friend.
See, now we're rooting for the purple guy, though, to get up there. Because, again, I think he's the... He's the guy that'd be the catalyst. Even though those 2 guys up front are, you know, swapping positions and all that stuff. But when there's 3 people, then it just becomes a whole different ball game. Because 2 people, it's easy enough to just, you know, hey, you get this corner, I get this corner. You know, work the draft back and forth.
Slow car ahead. Slow car ahead. Car stopped ahead. Go right. The next car's the leader.
Okay. Alrighty. And just like that, purple guy is in the lead. Although I feel much better having David in front of me because I know how fast he is, and I know that he's got like 9,000 I rating apparently. So I feel comfortable here. Just ride his coattails. Let's just follow him to the promised land, right? 4-car battle. Let's do this. Let's just not be stupid. Keep the car in one piece. And have faith that we will get there. And we all just like pop, 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 pop. What is it at the line? .2825. So we gained about a tenth there. But you got to remember, in this car, once you get within draft range, that gap closes down in a hurry. Gearbox. Gearbox. Apparently I'm empty gearbox because it's twice I've missed a shift all of a sudden. It's alright. It's alright.
The lead is pitting now.
Alrighty.
The lead is pitting now. The lead
Everyone else is
pitting
running
now.
for the
lead is
pits.
pitting now. The lead is pitting now.
Woo! We let a lap.
You're in first.
Come on. I am speed. I think we might come in this lap.
You have about 5 laps
Actually,
of
you know
fuel
what?
left.
Run the car longer. Run the car lighter. Duh. Just run fast. Just go fast as you possibly can. If they're racing with one another, you're not going to be in it. They're going to be slowing each other down. Come on, Self. You know how to run these things. You know what you're doing. Oh, that said, we just went 0.3 of a second slower that lap than the previous lap. Even though that was honestly probably one of our best laps of the race. So we're kind of betting on them closing up and racing one another. Let's check that. Session best lap. Yeah, I think we should probably pit. Alrighty, boys, we're gonna go for the pit stop here.
You got a slow car on the left.
Pass me on the straight here, Evan. I'll stay right.
Alrighty. Where are we going to shake out? Where are we going to shake out? Should be good on fuel. Alrighty. Give me the old glug, 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 glug.
Okay, go.
Gotta watch the pit exit. It's slow. It's slippery.
Car on. Clear on the right.
Yeah, no worries, just a little scare.
Car on. Clear on the right.
Hi, boys. Remember me? Nice to see you all out here today. See, I told you. I told you I am speed. First and last time I've really have ever said that. All right, we got 12 minutes of racing left, boys. We got a three-way battle for the pack here. Battle for the lead.
The next car's the leader. Left side. Clear on the
Coming from the
left.
pits
Car on
this
your
time.
left. Keep to the right. Clear on the left.
See, this is all you can ask for. We're in a good position. We've kept the car clean. We have 0 incident points at this stage.
You got it. Slow car on the right. Go left.
And we're in with a shot. Can't ask for much more than that.
Okay.
Car right. Clear.
Oh, man, I'm not really racing you right now. Just wanted to stay with them. Just want to make sure we're staying with them.
My bad, man. That's on me.
Good run.
Left side. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Let's to fight for it. Just go ahead and seat it. Ran wide there, that's big. Presses it up a bit. Woo, buddy, we are in the deep end here today. Start of the race wasn't exactly what I was looking for with this league, but we've kind of gotten settled in here towards the end of the race. It's kind of a, I guess, positive thing we actually missed that shift there. Just get too carried away there. Saw the high boys remember me lighting up in my eyes there.
The next car's the leader. You've got about 5 laps of fuel.
5 laps fuel, yeah, we're good. Close on field, no, we should be good.
You can have the inside at the Andretti hairpin, Robbie. I think we got a good run there.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
I don't like the position we're in now. I do not like the position we're in. Because he's just going to sit on the inside move, and that's the best place to actually make a pass. And it's like, other than that, you know, coming up the straightaway here is not a bad opportunity. But if we go for that move, David's going to run away. And if we go up the inside there, like in the hairpin, turn 2, it's going to be the same thing. David's going to run away. So I think David's just so much faster that he's the man to beat here. Well, he ran a little wide there. It's like the only option becomes dive bomb it. But again, if you do that, David's going to run away. So it's kind of like we're in this situation where well, maybe purple guys found a little bit more speed. See, this is what we want.
Right side.
3 wide, in the middle. Hell yeah, brother.
Left side, 2 wide. Clear on the left.
All right, y'all better smash that like button and share that stuff with your buddies, because you don't like that, then I'm afraid you don't have a pulse. All right. So we have 2 laps to go.
2 laps of fuel left.
We got 2 laps of
You
fuel
are the
left.
leader. Right side. You're in the middle, 3 wide.
No, we're
Clear
not.
on the left, 2 wide. Clear. Car on your left. Clear. Left side. Still there. Stay on the right. Stay on the right.
Back out,
Clear.
back out, get a run.
Right side. Still there. Still there. Clear on the right.
No! 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 No!
One more lap to win.
Alrighty. Alrighty, boys. 1 lap. 1 lap, 3.3 seconds.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
We're going to be running out of fuel right at the line, but we should be good. It's nice and easy. Good shift up into 4th.
saw that.
Good on fuel. 1/10 of a gallon.
You got a slow car on the left. Go right.
Yes! Woo! 1 for 1, baby. 1 for 1. And
You won. Yeah.
she just sputtered.
Justin, your paint job looks very familiar.
She just sputtered. We were that close on fuel. We nailed it. Yes! I'm not going to make it around. I'm not going to be able to participate in the post-race demo derby. Oh, man, I want to be in the demo derby. That's the whole reason I'm here. That's literally the whole reason I'm here, for the demo derby. Well, guys, I would say that race was quite successful. Yeah, shame you guys didn't see the winning feat. Yeah. Yeah, that was really crazy at the end. With the 3 wide, up the middle, into the corkscrew, just absolute nutcase move. It's funny, I was, the purple guy is probably the dangerous one, and then I'm the guy going 3 wide into the corkscrew. Demo Derby was lap 1, duh. Yeah. There will be Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors tomorrow at the same time. Yeah, unfortunately, Sundays don't work as well for me as Saturdays do, so that's why I've kind of run this thing.
Track is clear, guys.
Woo! Yeah! Feels so good, man. That feels so good. Because I mean, when you're racing with a guy with 9,000 I rating, actually, just a second. Sorry, guys, we gotta see what's going on with the demo derby. Is David out there still? Who is still left?
He's over a lot faster with new damage model.
Yeah, 1 touch. Have a good one, guys.
Oh. Blimp. I just, what? No. I am terrible at the camera work. So what do we got going on here? We got just cars smashing into one another. Do we got any? We got 3 guys remaining here in this hot heated demo derby. Oh, we got 2 left. Do we have any left? It looks like this is the last man standing, but he didn't really seem to be doing anything, so we're disqualifying him. He's a dead bug, even if he isn't. But anyways, let's go ahead and hopefully we don't have to like go jump in Discord or something, because I know this is a broadcasted race. GSRC is broadcasting it, and I'll go ahead and tweet out the link if you want to go back and watch their broadcast. But I know sometimes they like want to interview people, but I don't want to. So yeah, let's go back and check the carnage report. Oh boy, is there some carnage reports on this one? That's for dang sure. hopefully it's just a case of this being week 1 with a new car. You know, everyone's still kind of learning. Yeah, it looks like he just kind of looped it. I don't know if maybe there was some netcode contact type thing going on there, but it looks like he just looped it, probably coming from the curbing to the track surface, and the difference in the way everything kind of meets together just jack the suspension and around it goes, because that is a thing with this thing here in iRacing. It'll bite you. And the other guy was just kind of there, happenstance. And I suppose that explains why Red Shell guy was kind of eager to get past us, because he was in the first incident. And obviously, whenever you're in an incident at the start, you kind of get the red mist thing going on the rest of the race. So just remember, guys, let them wreck themselves and then profit. Step 1, qualify middle of the pack. Step 2, don't wreck. Step 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 4, profit. Right? Yeah, he just... If you go back to this race, first lap, remember when I said cold tires, they matter, but they don't, but they do? They don't matter until they matter? That's what that is. Cold tires don't matter until they do matter. And he just looped it, and fortunately he was able to go ahead and just kind of reverse on out of there, because he's already at the edge of the track. So good move on his part to slide it back that way. And where am I at? We got Twingo. Isn't that one of those? Isn't there a Renault Twingo? But with the $10 super chat, excellent race, Matt. Thank you very much. Hope you all have enjoyed this one, because this one was definitely fun as all get out from my perspective. Well, let's go ahead and watch the last few laps. This should probably be good. Just kind of see how that all played out from the trackside cameras. Definitely have to get a screenshot and add this one in of that 3 wide into the corkscrew, because that was kind of stupid, but kind of awesome. You know, when you have confidence that you're racing with people that at least aren't totally brain dead potatoes, you know, it's definitely a lot easier to go in there and be like, okay. Because I mean, even though during the race I was saying purple guy kind of seemed like the guy that was willing to be the catalyst and get up there, be a bit more aggressive, it's not like he was dangerous, you know, like swerving all over the place. I mean, he was holding his line, defending on the inside into the hairpin, basically lap after lap, and there's nothing wrong with that. So don't get it twisted and being like, oh, I'm saying that the guy can't drive, because obviously he can't drive. He's probably legitimately faster than me, but you know, you just kind of different stage of the race, people are doing different things. Show us what happened behind you. Did something happen behind me? All right, we'll go back and look at what happened behind. I assume you're probably talking about turn 1 there, Jeff. Did the wreck get even worse behind me? Not gonna lie, I kind of thought about dive bombing it into the corner on that one. But again, David gets away. Got the car color-coded so you know which end to point forward. Kind of, sort of, yeah. No, after the 3 wide. So you're talking about at the end of the race. Yeah, that will... I think this is the lap with the 3 wide. So we're to the last 2 or 3 laps at this stage. I think 3 to go, but the last lap was obviously a very uneventful lap. Actually, let me go ahead and change it to purple guy here. 'Cause then we'll get the 3 wide here. You know, the good old money shot. Just boom. Thank you for that lead. I will go ahead and take those positions. Have a nice day. See you all later. I gotta say, I really like the GoPros on these cars. Kind of one of those nifty little special touches. More racing sims should have stuff like that. Holy moly, David just flung it in there. Man possessed. Maybe there's a reason that guy has like 9,000 I rating. It's pretty flipping good. So here's the tail end. You notice I didn't go for the same move twice. Once was enough of that. So you get through the corkscrew side by side, through Rainy. Side by side. David comes over and Netco takes him out, just probably expecting too much out of the iRacing gods there. I mean, it's one of those things where it looks terrible in replay and all that, but you know, there's no telling what each guy saw. I mean, that works both ways, but that's unfortunate because I would have liked to properly had a battle at the end there. I think it would have been pretty interesting because I think honestly, even still, now that it got to this point where we were going side by side and everything, I don't think it was going to be a case of David gets away, which is what I was concerned about. Because once you're side by side, then it's full on, no holds barred, close quarters combat going on. In which case, being the third guy in that situation is not a bad thing, as evidenced by our move up the corkscrew. But that's going to do it. That was one heck of a race. We'll be doing this same league next week. Hopefully things calm down as maybe people realize that you can win a race from 10th place just by like keeping the car clean and not racing like a crazy man. But that's going to do it from here. And again, thank you guys for coming on out. We'll be here next time, same time next week, as well as Monday night we're going to be running the iRacing IndyCar fixed on the ovals again. Same thing as last week. So hopefully see you guys then. All right, bye.